I didn't know that a stock could be, or that 140% of the float of a stock could be short. That was a surprise to me.
What's up, guys? I'm back like I never left. In this video, we're going to be talking about GameStop, AMC, and we're also going to be hearing from Cathie Wood what she thinks about what is going on right now with these companies. I'm also going to go over what happened to the stock market and also go over some price predictions for GameStop, AMC, and go over some important economic reports we need to be watching out for tomorrow. So all this important information coming up. Now, before we get into the video, I appreciate if you can hit the like button. If you have any questions, any comments, make sure you drop it in the comment section below, and shout out to everybody that turned on notification. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notification to stay up to date on what's going on with the overall stock market. So as you can see over here, we have GameStop stock that is down 60%, and after hours is also down more than 5%. So yesterday we talked about the 1 day price target for this company could potentially be going up to $200 and be closing below $200. But as you can see, the stock eventually sold off significantly to the downside. The same thing happened for AMC. Yesterday's price target was that the sell-off can potentially be continuing, and it definitely happened. It's down more than 41%, and after hours is more than 3% of the downside. So the most important thing we want to be looking at is this company is that there's going to be a lot of investors that are involved with it right now. You know, one of them, of course, is going to be Deep Value. That this was the person that really started this position, that started this movement that got a lot of attention. So at one point, you know, he was up to $50 million, and right now people are focusing on him and they're basically following his lead. So if he's going to keep holding, we're going to keep holding. If he's going to be selling, we're going to be selling. So a lot of people are following him, and he has a substantial amount of profit. You know, at one point he made more than $50 million at one point in his positions. So that's why a lot of people are following it. As you can see, you know, now the media has picked it up, and when the stock price definitely drops, you know, the media definitely going to pick on him for not selling, and they're going to be constantly reporting to people that are following this news that he is continuously losing money, unfortunately, when the stock price goes down. And that is the downside of what's happening right now. You know, so a lot of people follow it, and when you see this kind of huge loss, and it could potentially scare more people to do something about their position, of course, you know. So we also had Mark Cuban that went into Reddit group to talk about exactly what could potentially be happening. You know, he went over, if you have a substantial amount of money locked up, you know, make sure that you keep holding. If you can afford to hold, you know, hold. And if you cannot hold, you know, just sell your position. That's exactly what he said. And that is one of the most important things you want to be doing. If you have a lot of money that's invested that you can't afford, you know, you have to be super careful, because this stock is definitely dropping to the downside significantly. Just only get involved in it and hold if you can sustain the money that you've invested. Even if it goes to zero, that you're going to be still going to be okay. So don't just invest your life savings or go all in on this stock, you know, expecting for this stock to potentially go to the upside a lot. So be super careful. You have to always manage your risk, you know. So moving forward for this specific company, I believe that, you know, the stock price can definitely be going to the downside a little bit before we see a significant spike. You know, the stock has just been selling off drastically for the past few days. You know, 7 days it hit all the way up to $400 to $500 and is now sitting close to $50, you know. So that is a substantial drop. You know, the game changer for this move is, of course, when brokerage accounts limited that completely shifted the sentiment of the supply and demand, and people got really wrecked when brokers did that. So we'll see if their volume is going to be increasing, but so far the volume has been dropping, and there's been a lot of selling pressure coming in, and people actually closing out of their positions, you know. So we have some celebrities that got involved in it. You know, one celebrity, he closed out of his $700,000 position. So we'll see moving forward if people are going to keep holding or fighting on, but it's really looking ugly right now. So the short-term price target for this company, I believe we're going to have within the next few days a significant bounce. We can potentially be going to above $100, but you have to be super careful about it in the short term, because it can definitely continue to go to $50 to $60. But we might have one solid day bounce where the stock could potentially go, you know, 40 or 30% of the upside. So that's going to be a great opportunity. The same thing can happen for AMC stock at the same time. So now let's talk about and let's hear from Cathie Wood what she thinks about what's going on. And after that, I'm going to be coming back and we're going to go over exactly what happened in the stock market and what are some important economic reports we need to be watching out for tomorrow.
I find it very interesting. I've been looking at millennials in the workforce, or we've been looking. So it looks like a third of the workforce is millennials, and that's going to 75%. I started in the business in the 80s when the baby boomers were coming of age. And there was a strategist, Stan Salvicson, Merrill Lynch, may he rest in peace. He drew expectations for demographics, baby boomers as a share of the workforce. And what happened was he believed that meant they'd be much more attracted to equities and that they would drive equities up. Now, here we are, the millennials are going from 33% of the workforce now to 75%. There's a tremendous intergenerational wealth transfer, the biggest we've ever seen in history. So they're going to control a lot more than even the baby boomers did at the time. And I think it means positive, that there are positive ramifications for both the equity markets and the crypto markets, both of which millennials have taken, in which many have taken an interest. So the GameStop and, let's get the hedge funds. One of the interesting things about this is they're actually aiding and abetting, and I don't think you've heard this anywhere else, they're aiding and abetting the bond bubble. What is happening? What is happening? These companies that are left for dead by innovation, by the way, are selling, some of their bonds are selling at 25 cents on the dollar. They're dead as doornails in many, even bond investors' eyes. Once you drop below 75 on a bond, 75 cents to the dollar, the risk of bankruptcy looms large. So now some of these companies are refinancing. They're actually accessing the equity markets. They're not refinancing their debt. They're right now, they will. They're accessing the equity markets and their bond prices are skyrocketing. They're tripling. I think it was AMC. Their bond price has just gone from 25 cents to 75 cents. Now, if you ask me, a student of innovation, maybe there's a shot of survival here, and maybe more so now that they've been able to do an equity offering, which they could not have done 2 weeks ago. Maybe, but I would not be putting my money there. I want to be on the right side of change. That's what ARK is all about. Do I like a two-sided market? I disagree. I agree with Elon Musk on almost everything, certainly in terms of technology. But on this point that short sellers are a negative for the market.
So this is exactly what Elon Musk said about short sellers. So as you heard from Cathie Wood, she believes, the short sellers provide a fantastic opportunity. Of course, when the stock price drops all the way down, these hedge funds or these ETF managers like Cathie Wood, they can come and they can buy up these amazing discounted stocks, so that is the beauty of having short sellers. That's exactly what's been happening to GameStop too. We have deep F value, you have other investors that saw the opportunity of these GameStop stock dropping and they came in and they piled in and they opened their positions. So sometimes it's a great opportunity, but let's continue hearing from Cathie Wood.
And ARK, who were terrorized during Tesla's plunge during 2019. If you have the courage of your conviction, and our courage comes from research, back then, what did we do during that plunge when many speculators were saying they're going to run out of money? Our simple question was, how can that be? The markets have not shut down. And sure enough, they did an offering. Was it at a lower price than many of us would have liked? Sure, but it was small compared to the ones they've done recently. We bought all the way down. It was a gift for us to have those short raids.
Everything you're doing is based on research. And I think with these meme stocks, people are saying, well, what's the research? Like, what are they doing this on, right? These companies, you want to be on, as you said, the right side of innovation. So has this exposed, I mean, some people think it's exposed a systemic risk to free markets, and others think it's the very definition of free markets.
Yes, well, I believe,
where does it fall?
Oh, yeah, no. Truth will win out here. And the truth is, history is not going to be on the side of those companies that didn't invest enough to move into the new world quickly enough, and probably are not going to be a big force moving forward. So one of the things that I did find interesting, I didn't know that a stock could be, or that 140% of the float of a stock could be short. That was a surprise to me. And so I think that hedge funds, or whomever is shorting, it's not just hedge funds, there are all kinds of investors shorting out there. It's going to be interesting to see if they will stay or if they will move to such what I believe was an outrageous position relative to the float out there. So kind of, in a way, they might have seen this coming. And I do know that the one firm that got in trouble was I guess the Reddit folks were focused on the listed puts of the, now what's unfortunate about that is they probably don't know much about OTC puts, over the counter puts. Those are opaque, they can't see them. All this move will do is push all of that market over the counter, which is extremely profitable for banks, but it's more expensive for the end investors. So it's a little unfortunate. As an investor, I always like to hear the other side of the argument. And that's the other unfortunate thing that's going on here, I think. There are people now afraid to talk about why they're bearish on certain stocks. If during our Tesla 2019 experience, if we didn't have the cacophony of investors, sell side, buy side, retail, institutionals, putting down Tesla, we wouldn't have gotten the opportunities to buy it that we did. And we wouldn't have understood how much those investors did not understand what was going to move the stock. That helped us. And if their voices are shut down, I think that will be doing a disservice to all investors, because I want to know, what are the arguments against this position? Clearly, we're missing something, but we weren't when it came to Tesla.
As you can see over here, we have the overall stock market that performed very well. Amazon reporting earnings after hours. It was really great. Unfortunately, Jeff Bezos stayed down from becoming a CEO. We have Tesla that continued to rally to the upside. We have the semiconductor. We have financials. Like the stock market was booming today. Unfortunately, the meme stocks like GameStop, AMC, and the other stocks were just definitely going to the downside. So, also have some important economic reports we need to be watching out for Wednesday, February the 3rd. We have at 8:15 a.m. We have the ADP employment report. The Minneapolis Fed president is also going to be speaking at 8:30 a.m. We have the market service PMI and the ISME service index is going to be reported from 10 to 8:15 a.m. So make sure you look out for these economic reports. But the overall stock market seems super bullish. We'll see what's going to be happening in the entire stock market. But make sure you manage your risk if you're involved in GameStop and AMC. There's a lot of volatility happening with these companies, and they're selling out to the downside. So make sure you manage your risk. Don't actually just go all in and expect the stock to recover. So be super careful. But if you have any questions, any comments, make sure to drop in the comment section below. If you want to sign up for Webull, check out the link in the description box. If you want to join the Discord chat, etc., links available. But I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's video. Let's get it. Have a wonderful day.